What will happen to ARK Invest in 2023? That's the question we'll try to analyze today. Hello everyone, my name is Luke and I am also a follower of ARK Invest research. I too believe that the technological change is inevitable, but that doesn't mean that the financial market will always agree in the short term. Since ARK emerged in 2020, Cathie Wood has been repeating that AI will dominate society in this decade. However, as ARK hits new low in 2022, Chat GPT and Mid-Journey AI have risen to a new high in popularity. If you haven't tried Chat GPT, I highly recommend that you create an account and give it a try. It's one thing to nod in agreement that technology and AI will change, but it's another to actually interact and experience it. This is another way to build your conviction as the market changes. I'll include a link to Chat GPT below so that you can try it for yourself and share your thoughts with me. I am simply mind blown by how far the language models have come. Eventually, one of these generative AI bots will be integrated into a robotic shell from Boston Dynamics or a Tesla bot. And there you have it. A robotic personal assistant or a robotic nurse will be the norm in our lifetime. And what this means in the business terms is that many industries will experience massive and quick disruptions, which means that there will be huge cost collapses in many areas. So where are we in the financial markets? ARK and other growth stocks like Palantir or CrowdStrike have been struggling since last May. It seemed impossible for the fund to break above $50, but in January of 2023, ARK went from $30 on January 3rd to $44 on February 2nd, a whopping 37% gain. When we look at the chart, we can see that ARK has broken above the $40 resistance line, which has served as a major resistance level since October of last year. That's right, folks. Just when most people throw in the towels, the market turns around and gives you a whooping on your other cheeks. And this is why, no matter who you are, there's always a place for a passive and diversified portfolio in your financial plan. But of course, that can be boring, which is why it's always good to have a little play money on the side. So what do I think about this ARK rally? In my humble opinion, as someone who works in the financial field, I believe that there are two possible scenarios. The first one, which is roughly the current consensus, is that this is a bear market rally. The market is too optimistic, betting on a Fed pivot very soon, and ignoring the potential for earning compression when recession fears return. This scenario argues that the entire market will see new lows in 2023, including ARK Invest. While I partially agree with this view, that I can see certain sectors hitting new lows, and that there will be a lot of volatility this year. However, I can't help but think that the lowest price for ARK had already been reached. Let me present the second scenario to you. On December 28th of last year, ARK reached its lowest point in a couple of years at $29. At that time, the 10-year treasury rate was at 3.8%. If you have been following the stock market for the past 2 years, you would have noticed the inverse relationship between interest rate and growth stocks. If we look back 5 years of historical data, for the 10-year treasury rate, we can see that in November of 2018, the 10-year rate was at 3.22% around that time. And at that time, ARK was trading in the range of $35 to $45. Since the new year started, the 10-year rate has dropped from its high of 3.8% down to 3.4%. The bond market, which is a forward-looking tool, is betting that the Fed will soon stop raising rates and eventually cut them as recession approaches. Personally, I think that although in the near future, when the recession hits and stocks valuation will be impacted by earnings compression, it will be countered shortly by the Fed cutting rates, which will inflate the value of risk assets once again. ARK Invest may dip low again, but it probably won't stay low for long. At $30 to $35, you're literally looking at the prices that were 5 years ago for ARK Invest when interest rates were similar to now. But you know what's different? The size of the company inside the fund. These companies have grown so much since 2018, yet the market left them for dead, as if the world would stay the same. The way the market is going, it almost feels like people are allocating their assets as if 10 years from now, the FANG stock will still be the top leaders of the S&P 500 and will still be harpooning whales for oil to burn on candles. Historically, that is just not true. Every 1 to 2 decades, you see the changing of the guard. And if you've been following what's going on with Meta, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So here's what I'm going to do. And this is not personal financial advice, so please talk to your personal financial advisor. Nonetheless, if ARK is going to drop down to the 30s again, and personally, since I believe that ARK will not stay lower than $29 for long, I can either sell some puts to get some shares for even cheaper and hold it until easy monetary policy comes around again, or I can go the YOLO route and buy a couple of leap calls, which just mean that they're long-term options for more than a year, and hope that my wife doesn't find out. All right, I hope you all found my input somewhat entertaining and valuable. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below about this video, about ARK, and about what content I should do next. I hope to see you all again in the next video. Thank you and have a meaningful day full of growth and triumph. Peace.